Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Tonight on Talking the Tightrope is our guest, part of the Lizzie Bennet Diaries, part of School of Thrones, also YouTube's mrcheezypop, Monsieur Maxwell Glick.
What's up?
Maxwell joins us tonight as part of the cast of Apotheosis in this live Talking the Tightrope. When it comes to Maxwell, it was really interesting how I wanted to go about getting him as part of our show. And the character that Maxwell plays in this production is a Dr. Robert Watson. And what Dr. Robert Watson is he is the sort of, literally the brainchild of the second program to create superhumans that was done in the year 2000. And what is really fun and interesting about Dr. Robert Watson's character is, I guess the easiest way to explain it to pique your interest is let's look at Maxwell here, this man is going to bring you a tragic Doogie Howser figure. Probably the easiest way to bring it to you. It's very much if you remember NPH rocking it as Doogie Howser, MD. Imagine a sort of tragic spin on the outcome of what could have been from a young prodigy, and in his case it was in genetics. And so Dr. Watson was actually responsible for creating the second generation of superhumans, two of which we featured on an earlier Talk in the Tightrope, which were Mr. Davis Aguila and Michelle Jubilee Gonzalez, who play Jason and Michaela. And really, Dr. Robert Watson brings us the interesting dichotomy between the sort of ego of brilliance that scientists have when they make those massive breakthroughs, and then sort of realizing the costs of exactly what it is they've discovered and how other people put them together. So let's give a big hand to Mr. Maxwell Glick for joining us tonight. Thank you so much, sir.
Thanks.
So at this point, we are at about $1,200. We literally, just before the show went on air, got another $100 donation. Thank you so much for supporting the show. We are about 9 days out from the end of the campaign. And at this point, look, miracles can happen, but they're called miracles because you don't see them coming and you don't bank on them. So right now, we are trying to get as many points on the board as we can get in the final 9 days to try to see what kind of support we have and to figure out what avenues we need to take in order to bring this show alive. So every dollar helps, $1, $3, $5. If you can bring something to the campaign, we certainly appreciate it. See if you can help us get the scoreboard up as much as possible. And so now we're going to go to our guest, Mr. Glick, Mr. Cheesy Pop, Mr. Disney File, Mr. Richard Ricky Collins. Tell us a little bit. You come out of Boston, Massachusetts, right?
Well, no, I'm from Long Island, New York.
But you went to Boston College, though.
Went to Boston College, so.
There it is. Okay, yeah. So, okay, tell us a little bit. Maxwell Glick, LA, doing your thing right now. How do we get there from where you come from Boston College? How did you end up here?
Well, I guess after school, I just thought I got to get out to LA. I did like a little bit of touring children's musical before I came out to LA. Saved up that money from the tour, came here, and yeah, 8 years later, wow, time flies really fast. It's crazy. Here I am. Yeah. I just knew I had to get out to LA, do my thing out here, and it's been great to me. Every year has been sort of this like steady kind of like more stuff.
Climbing up little by little.
It's great. Yeah. So that's how a career works,
That's in the best case. In the best case, that's how a career works. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now you've also done some television as well. We'll talk about the web productions in a bit, but you've popped up here and there on TV. I remember seeing you popping up in Castle personally, but also in The Office. You were one of the kids hanging out with Ed Helms. What was it? Christmas Carol production?
It was Sweeney Todd.
Ah, with Sweeney Todd. Okay, tell us a little bit about your TV appearances here. I love this like mix that you've done.
Yeah, The Office was that was probably the coolest experience, just because we were there for like a full week. We were playing the cast of Andy's local production of Sweeney Todd, and I was Tobias, if you've seen Sweeney Todd, and we got to perform some of like the actual numbers from Sweeney Todd on a stage. Then we also got to perform in the office. That was the top of the show, which was so cool.
That is pretty sweet.
Yeah, it was amazing. And then I had a scene with Ed Helms, which was really neat. And the whole experience was just, that was kind of a dream because I was such a fan of the show, and like being on that set, like walking in there, I was just like, this is amazing. Like, pinch me, because this is work. It was the coolest, seriously. Yeah, pretty awesome week of my life, and everyone was great. And then, yeah, Castle was amazing. Nathan Fillion is as cool as you think he is. And I got to be a zombie, and he interrogated me as a zombie. That's just like so weird.
That's very thematic and hip right now too. I like it.
Yeah. So that was just like, what? So cool. Yeah, I mean, and I got to work with Damian Lewis before he did Homeland on his show called Life.
Oh, see, that's one of the shows that breaks my heart, Max. I really liked Life a lot. I actually followed it regularly.
It's a good show.
Yeah, I mean, it had Sarah Shahi. Now she's on Person of Interest, so I was really glad to see her like popping up somewhere on TV.
Yeah.
But Life, man, what a bummer.
Good show. So, and he's obviously super talented, and yeah, it's just kind of crazy to work with like people that are like huge, like, but you know. And one day I'll be there. So.
Oh, of course. I'm gonna do my best to get him there. Help us out now. I'm gonna make Maxwell a star. He's gonna be a star. So when it comes to web television, was Hicks in Night of the Zombie King your first web TV production, or where did you start when it comes to web TV itself?
Lonely Girl 15. So.
Oh, yes, the perennial. All right. How did you get involved with that? That's one of the innovators, man. That's one of the pioneers in this space.
Yeah, I go way back. I got involved the way you get involved in anything, really. I auditioned, and yeah, I auditioned for this character, Spencer Gilman. Or I guess I wasn't auditioning for him originally. I auditioned for a different part, and then they got in touch with me, and they said that they had another part down the road that I would be right for, and then they brought me in when that role was casting. And he was a scientist, actually, as well. So
nice.
Yeah, he was this like nerdy young scientist guy, and yeah, I saw Lonely Girl. It was crazy. To be honest.
Yeah, no, and Lonely Girl was great because it was right in the earliest days where there was the suspense of, is this real or not, which was really the biggest thing about Lonely Girl at the time. Yeah. That was the gimmick. Is this actually happening? Is it not? And it wasn't until the end when they're like, oh, by the way, this is an actually produced show intentionally. We totally gotcha. And it's so impossible really to pull off today because everyone's always expecting it. But man, that was pretty crazy when it was first happening.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Pretty neat time to be, involved in that stuff, and to kind of see everything evolve to where we are today. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's actually my follow-up question. I mean, Lonely Girl 15, Night of the Zombie King, School of Thrones, Lizzie Bennet, Muzzled is coming up after this. So you've been through the gamut, like through the spectrum of how this part of the entertainment industry has sort of grown. What's it been like? Like what has been your experience in watching this particular sort of niche of entertainment literally evolving? Because I mean, you're not just like watching it evolve on screens. In a lot of cases, you're becoming part of these areas, these parts. The first time I saw you was Hicks in Night of the Zombie King. But what's it been like to watch the evolution of web television and be a part of it?
It's awesome to be part of it. I think anytime you can be part of something that is so like revolutionary and still in its infancy is always neat. From now it's like you're almost expected to be at a certain level.
Yeah.
Like, it used to be, oh, you set up your webcam and blah blah blah, and that's it. But now it's like, oh man, you got to be like looking great, and it's like because the line between web and TV now is just, people make stuff now that is as good or if not even better on the web than on TV, and the fan bases are so invested on the web way more than they can be on regular TV, and that's the beauty of where we've come. Lonely Girl really kind of started that, and I think shows like Lizzie Bennet took it to the next level. Transmedia is just exploding. It's wild. I don't even know where we're going next.
Now, how was it a big surprise to you when, in a lot of ways, like you would have thought, especially with the way that, like popularity is on the internet, it's almost like, okay, this fed's over, it's out of the way, next thing, next thing, next thing. Was it a surprise to see Lonely Girl 15 web vlog come around full circle again once Lizzie Bennet Diaries hit? Because that's not something you usually see with genres. Usually, especially on the internet, it's like that's yesterday's news. But it kind of blows my mind that not only did they bring back that vlogging genre, that vlogging sort of setting, but they like kicked a massive amount of ass with it.
Yeah, I mean, it could have failed miserably, and I think the reason it was such a success is because of the cast and the crew and the writers, and they had a good idea, but it had to be executed the right way, and they did it. We did it. It was, I don't know, it was one of those magical little things because it's just, I don't know how the vlog style thing. It just works really well, but it had to have been executed the right way. And they just found this awesome mix of people to make it happen. No one had told it, classic in a vlog style, and they did it. We did it. It's still kind of crazy to me that it became what it did. Changed my life. So.
Hey, that's not a bad way to have your life changed, is it?
No.
Do you think part of it, from my point of view, watching Lizzie Bennet Diaries, what I kind of noticed was the vlog style sort of helps connect with an audience more directly because you feel like, hey, Lizzie's talking to me right now. And I think that combined with, the Jane Austen audience is very dedicated to the material of Jane Austen. And I really think one of the, basically when they gave it their blessing, they really helped push it farther out because they're like, okay, they didn't screw up, our Jane Austen. At least that's what it feels like to me. They're just like, hey, not only is this a remake of our sort of sacred texts when it comes to Jane Austen books, but it's like, hey, this is actually a good version. Like they get it.
Yeah, we're nowhere without the fan base. They made this what it became through the artwork they would make, through the GIFs they made on Tumblr. They took it to the next level, and in ways that I don't think anyone could have seen coming. The fans of the Lizzie Bennet Diaries are pretty amazing because they're just really intelligent and creative people. So it's a pretty cool fan base to have.
Yeah, not a bad thing to have to help a show survive and thrive, huh?
Hmm.
So when I approached you, my first exposure to you, as I said earlier, was as Hicks in Night of the Zombie King. And that was the first time I had seen Maxwell Glick. So it was a brand new face to me. He appeared in life, and I remember the show, but it wasn't like now I see him pop up as Rat and Castle, and I'm like, oh my, hey, that's Maxwell Glick. He pops up in the office. Oh, okay, that's Maxwell Glick. I recognize the face now, but for Night of the Zombie King, it was a brand new. You were a brand new actor to me.
Yeah.
And I really love the scene where you have your big confrontation toward the back end of the series.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the first time where I personally was just like, okay, well, damn, Maxwell Glick is a mighty fine actor. I would like to work with that guy at some point.
Thanks.
And I'm out of Michigan, so everything that I see of you guys is way over here in the Mitten State, and I literally have a list of actors from Web TV where I write it down. It's not just every single actor, but it's like I'd like to work with that actor. I'd like to try to write something for that actor.
Mm-hmm.
And so I came to you. I approached you with Dr. Robert Watson because I really like your talent level, which is very high. And what I like is one of the things I want to do as a trademark is I want to try to put actors in situations that they don't get to be seen in much.
Mm-hmm.
That helps you professionally because if you remember, did you ever watch the Dave Chappelle show? I imagine you did, like what most of us did.
Yeah.
And the classic Wayne Brady episode where he popped up as Dave Chappelle's buddy, except it turned out he was a drug dealing pimp and an evil man. And he kills the cop after he sings to him and all that kind of stuff. Well, I remember an interview with Wayne Brady where he specifically said, after my appearance in the Dave Chappelle show, I started getting more jobs because up to that point, no one would let me even audition for something that wasn't happy-go-lucky Wayne Brady singing happy songs all the time and doing pop music. He actually was able to get more offers and more jobs because there was finally something popular that showed him acting in a different way. Mm-hmm. And in an entrenched studio system, especially when they're owned by corporations, they're all about repetition for success. Find the formula, do it over and over and over again.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So when I originally wrote Dr. Robert Watson, I had an older actor in mind, and then I started thinking about the idea of like the tragic Doogie Howser figure, because MPH had started exploding again. How I Met Your Mother, Dr. Horrible, hosting award shows, and it was like the renaissance of Neil Patrick Harris, which is just absolutely awesome.
Yes.
And so I came to you, and I was just like, hey, Maxwell, I have something I'd like you to read. Check it out. There's a role I'd like you to play. And so we come to the question, which is, why did you say yes to me? What was it? Why did you decide, hey, I want to play, Dr. Watson. I want to take on this character. And mind you, you already have the job, so you don't need to suck up. That's done now. You can just be like, yeah, it's just a job I do. But seriously, I'm very curious about this because I haven't asked you this yet. What was it that made you decide, yeah, I want to play Dr. Watson?
No, I think you kind of stole my answer, actually, with what you were just saying. Because as an actor, you always like to be challenged and play something that, normally you wouldn't be, like, exactly pegged for. So, like, I think, looking at this character, I was like, I know that I can do this and bring something unique and interesting to this guy. And it would be like a pretty good challenge for me too, because it's not that he's not me. He's not. He's not just like he's not
Mr. Science Pop. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like Disney and happiness. This is the greatest thing ever. But I've always wanted to play like dark roles. I think it'd be so much fun to take on something that is not you. That's what like acting is, right?
Most
Yeah.
choices, yeah, you wouldn't know from reality television, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's what it is, just being able to take on a character that's really intriguing and got a whole bunch going on. Yeah.
Okay, well, let's talk about that again a bit then, so that way I can unsteal your thunder here. What was it? What intrigues you the most about Dr. Watson? Like, what is it that's going on internally for you when you look over the character?
Well, I mean, uh, oh, I just hit a button. Sorry.
That's all right. And now Maxwell Glick is fired. I'm sorry, we're gonna have to cut this show short. Hit a button.
um, well, he's sort of. Well, I don't know how much does what's revealed so far. What have you said about the character so far?
So far at this point, basically he was the lead scientist of the second project, and he made bigger, stronger, faster, meaner superhumans.
Okay.
And so, I mean, and at this point, feel free to talk about what you want to talk about. The pilot doesn't spoil any plot. It literally is just a setup, so you don't have to worry about that.
Yeah, I guess not. That's true. Yeah, I mean, the possibilities that could come out of out of a brain like his are pretty fascinating, and I mean, I don't know where it's going to go. So it's just sort of intriguing to get to play someone with that much intelligence and power, because that's kind of crazy stuff. I usually don't get to play someone with that much power. So
yeah, if we can get to the first season, there's definitely, I can tell the audience right now, there's a little bit of Tony Stark in Robert Watson. I mean, he is a very financially successful man in the area of medicine and genetics, and he applied himself after he was done with the project. So this isn't going to be like Maxwell in the corner, begging people not to hit him and sniveling in the background or anything like that. If you want to see Maxwell Glick as Big Pimpin', you got to help us out. Bring us Maxwell Big Pimpin' Glick.
do I need to work out now?
No, don't worry about that. We'll get you a padded suit. We'll get you a diamond cane. You'll look so badass you won't have to worry about it one bit. So let's move into a little bit of YouTube now, because you're working on your channel. You brought it alive, the channel of Mr. Cheesy Pop. What was the impetus to create the channel in the first place? Why why did you want to make Mr. Cheesy Pop?
Well, after the Lizzie Bennet Diaries, I had this kind of built-in audience and stuff, and I just felt like I need to tap into that and keep in touch, because I really loved the community that was built, and I wanted to be part of it and just keep going and create stuff for myself. And Mr. Cheesy Pop was always this. It was my screen name, back in the day.
We're talking America Online. Yeah, nice.
So and it just sort of stuck, and it was very me. It's happiness, and I don't know. And I've just just wanted to create stuff, and so I do now, 2 videos a week, sometimes more, and I've transitioned into, I think more than half of the stuff I do now is about Disney. So yeah, it's just a lot of fun. I love interacting with the community.
I think it's fun too. I started seeing that stuff with the pop music and things like that, and yeah, you look at me, I got my long hair, and I look like I want to mug you in an alley and steal your wallet. But I mean, I can be a fan of pop music. I mean, for gosh sakes, in the script for the pilot, I don't know if you noticed, I actually snuck in a line for you where you say a line from an NSYNC song. Literally, you actually say the title of a popular NSYNC song is one of your lines, and I literally did that from Mr. Cheesy Pop. Yeah, look it over, you'll see it. You wouldn't notice it now, but it's fun.
Yeah, cheesy pop. I mean, that's where the name basically came from because I like cheesy pop music, and yeah. Now the name means even more, so it's like music and everything else, right?
I like exactly. It is evolve. It is an apotheosis of Mr.
Yeah,
Cheesy Pop, if
yeah.
you
It's
will.
overall just happiness and stuff.
Good, because the world can use more of that. Like I'm writing a drama or whatever, but it's like sometimes I just need to be happy too. Dag nabbit.
Yeah, yeah. I am glad to provide that. Uh, yeah.
So tell us a little bit. You're a major Disney file. Where did that start? Like what was the spark that brought Maxwell into the magical universe of Disney? What was it that struck you?
Uh, I mean, I guess I've just been watching it since I was really, 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 really little. Um, and my family, we went to Disney World a few times growing up. So it's always been there. It's always been a really important part of my life and how I live my life. And then, moving here and being 45 minutes from Disneyland only made my obsession grow that much stronger. uh,
Okay,
so
well, what is it? What is it then? What is it that makes it so important to you? What brings it so close to your heart? Because I'm always interested about this kind of stuff because there's always everyone has that one thing that they really love or they identify with. What is it about Disney that really just sort of captures you?
it's just, you can go there or watch a Disney cartoon and from ages 5 to 1,005, it doesn't matter. It's just, I don't know. It just gives you that special feeling that nothing else can. I don't know exactly how to pinpoint it, but uh, it's just a magical place that he created and continues to evolve in ways that, you know, I think he would appreciate. That's the thing. Uh, I think he'd be cool with most of what they've done.
Uh-huh.
um,
You'd be cool with most of what they've done,
yeah,
but it's just like anything else. There's always little foibles and things like that.
yeah, but I'm just, it's amazing. You could go to Disneyland and be a child for a day. It's pretty awesome.
There ain't nothing wrong with that. Yeah, I was telling you just before the show that one of my lead actresses in my web series Vampirism Bites is a similar kind of like hyper Disney file. So
Mm-hmm.
I always find it interesting because I like my thing comes from the world of comic books.
Mm-hmm.
That's my driving love. It's the art form, and it was the same thing for me when I was a little kid. It was about cool superheroes and awesome costumes doing sweet things. And then as I started getting older, I started appreciating different aspects because I understood more of the peripheral. So, the idea of what goes into drawing a comic book, the idea of what goes into writing it, and
Sure.
being able to understand that, but it didn't like make the magic go away. It amplified the magic because then I understood. Oh, like okay, that's why I like it more.
Yeah. It's kind of how I feel. As I've gotten older, my love for Disney has gotten stronger. It's like crazy. I totally get what you're saying. Yeah.
Are there any particular your favorite Disney? Let's say your three favorite Disney movies right now, because I know your list probably constantly changes. My list of favorite songs will change from time to time, except one. I have one that's never moved off the top of the list, but my others have sort of shifted. How about you?
Um, I think The Lion King still is my number one. Uh, it's tough to. So if we're talking just animated, um, it's The Lion King, The Little Mermaid. Uh, it's so hard to put. I don't even know. Three.
It gets
Aladdin.
murky. Up, it's getting murky now. It's like, well, I could go.
Is it
No, I
Aladdin?
could.
Is it
Aladdin.
Aladdin or like? I don't know. Is Frozen up there yet? I don't know.
Well,
It's,
is it for you? We're not asking like on the global scale of
I
Disney
mean,
acceptance. Is it
I
for
loved it. I
Maxwell?
loved it. I loved it. I don't know. I'm like, did I love it more than Aladdin? I was also a different age then. So,
Maybe you'll have to watch them back to back now and see like now adult Maxwell Glick will make this scientific determination.
right?
Yeah, we'll get you
Uh,
like a lab coat and a bow tie and some beakers and stuff.
yeah. Yeah.
So what have you thought? This is actually something interesting because I'd like to ask someone who's into Disney. What have you thought about like their spate of acquisitions in the past? Really it's the past decade because it kind of started when they bought up Power Rangers like a long while back before the more high-profile purchases. But I mean, what do you think about that? Did it feel a little weird at first, or were you just like, yeah, Disney will rule the universe?
I mean, I, I'm like, as long as they don't, you know, mess it up for the people that like really were into, whether it be Star Wars or Marvel, as long as they continue on, and I think they use people like they're gonna have obviously knowledgeable people working on these things going forward. I mean, I'm fine with it because that just means like when I go to Disney parks or whatever, I'm gonna see like cool Star Wars things, and I bet there'll be an awesome Marvel thing at some point. So
Yeah,
I welcome.
whenever the other corporations finally decide to like play ball and let them have their stuff back, yeah.
Yes, I mean I welcome all that stuff because Star Wars and Marvel universe are pretty incredible, and the possibilities.
Yeah, they've been around for, a couple of years. I think a couple of people know about
Yeah,
those franchises.
and the possibilities with acquiring such things are kind of cool to think about. So, I mean, I'm all for it. I know a lot of people are not because it's like, how could Disney acquire our, But I get that side too. So but it's cool with me.
All right, Maxwell Glick has been assimilated into the Disney board cube.
Oh,
It's pretty
totally,
sweet. The board
totally.
cube with the mouse ears floating around. I love it, man. That's pretty
I
sweet.
I am. Oh yeah, they've got me. Like seriously, they got me. I've never worked for Disney, but like basically, you
You're good
have
to
me.
go.
You
Okay, well
have me.
let's ask you about that. Any Disney production, past or present, you could be a part of it. Maxwell Glick gets hired to do X on Y Disney production. What are the variables for Maxwell Glick?
Oh my goodness. Any
Oh
Disney.
yeah, no. If you thought this was going to be some softball questions, young man, right? Big Daddy's bringing in the Disney hammer, sir. We're going all the way into this rabbit hole.
Um, it's a dream to do a Disney animated movie musical. So, uh,
You're gonna be sweeping chimneys with Mary Poppins' son. What are you gonna be doing over there?
if it like, I feel like I would have made. Uh, I, man, this is tough.
Oh yeah,
So,
this is Barbara Walters style. Like I
so
have no
like,
mercy here.
there's a couple of songs that I wish like I could have done. Let's say like "I'll Make a Man Out of You" from Mulan, and "Go
Yup.
the Distance" from Hercules. Um, like that would have been pretty cool. So maybe yeah. So maybe Mulan. That would have been pretty cool to voice. Uh, yeah. There's been a bunch lately that I could have totally done. I feel like I could have been a good Olaf. Hmm.
Not bad. Okay, not bad at all. I'm liking where this is going here. So, Mulan and Frozen so far. All right, I like it.
Yeah, it could have been. I think I
And
would have made a
who knows
good
what future
Aladdin.
productions are coming up? Maybe this could be the catalyst to get Maxwell
I don't
in the
know.
next big Disney musical.
Just want to be in one, man.
I'm just glad you didn't say Cars 2, or I'd have to immediately end this hangout and fire you from the cast. I would just immediately.
See, like I said, Walt Disney would be happy with most of what they've done.
Yeah, no. See, Cars 2 was a real heartbreaker because they took such a simple, fun, buddy concept, and I don't know how, but they figured out a way to just screw the pooch on it. I just could not believe it.
That was pretty bad. That was really sad.
I actually had, I manage a movie theater. That's my day job. And so I remember at that time we actually hit a point where there were parents that were like, I can't bring my child into Cars 2 because they had all the, guns in the hubcaps.
Yeah.
They literally, the worst part, right? They executed a Ford Mustang on camera.
Yeah.
Could not believe that scene. And if you haven't seen Cars 2, don't. I am not, like, this isn't hyperbole. They literally tortured and executed a Ford Mustang American Spy on camera,
Bad.
and then blew him up. And you
So
could see the reflection of him exploding on a TV, like the reflection of a TV monitor. It blew me away.
Blew you away.
See what I did there?
It's a very odd movie. I don't know why they did that, but I will say Cars Land is really cool.
Okay, so basically something makes up for whatever makes up for Cars 2. I'll take it at this point.
Yeah, Cars Land is like really, really, really cool. So, okay.
Exactly. Yeah, we'll take that because after Cars 2, we'll take whatever washes that away from the palette.
Yeah.
Exactly. Maxwell and I are together on Cars 2, regardless our feelings about Disney.
Oh,
Cars 2 is a literal car wreck. It is a car wreck in so many ways. So coming up in the near future for you, because there was a successful campaign for it, is actually the musical Muzzled with Matt Mercer, and I wanted to talk to you a little bit about that because it was really interesting when I saw it coming along. Tell us a little bit about when it comes to Muzzled, basically how long had they been trying to get this together? I know you had mentioned they were trying for a little while to put this together, but exactly how long were they trying to work on bringing Muzzled to life?
Oh boy, I think it's been like over 3 years. Because 3 years ago I auditioned for it in its original first attempt, and we filmed a video, and it just didn't. They were going to do a Kickstarter for it back then, and then it just they were trying to shop it up all different places. Never really happened. 3 years later, the forces aligned, and we shot a whole new thing, and it was better than the first one. And yeah, it was good timing, good people, and it just kind of took off. I can't wait to do it. Can't wait to sing. And yeah, we should be filming it, before the year is over. So, yeah.
That's very cool. I'm looking forward to it because I'm looking forward to see after the success of Dr. Horrible. I actually am surprised there haven't been a lot more like musical productions in this space, which has been very curious because it's like, wow, like what a great space to create your own damn musical. Like the limits. And there have been a few, but it's just far less than what I would have expected. And I don't know if like Dr. Horrible's success and Joss Whedon sort of like scared others off from sort of trying to enter that territory, being compared to it or not. But I was just really excited to see that something like Muzzled was coming along, so we can get a little more variety in the space. I think it's really cool.
Yeah, they're really hard to do. I think that's
they are.
I think musicals are it's just like triple the work and triple the cost, and I think it's probably the best reason why people don't do them.
Yeah, well, don't worry, because at the rate we're going, everyone will just be able to use their iPhone 7 Plus to shoot it, because they'll actually be better cameras than, whatever like a Red camera is shit. Give me my iPhone 8.
Yeah.
Right? Because, I mean, I could use crap like Red, or I could use my iPhone 8 and get this shit done.
Yes. Yes.
There, just plain and simple. He's like, yeah, I'm just 2 more years. We're good to go. I brought up muzzle because I like to talk about challenges and the kind of challenges that are overcome, the kind of things that you really, the stuff you don't get to see a lot. It's not exciting to talk about. It's not sexy to talk about. There's always the jerk style, I was born a poor black child and I came up walking uphill both ways kind of things. But you don't hear a lot about the day-to-day grind and the kind of challenges that persist, not just temporarily, but for a long while. So when it comes to challenges in your career, Maxwell, what kind of challenges have you had to overcome? What are some of the tougher parts of being an actor, of being Maxwell Glick right now when it comes to your career?
I think you're always, and I've had I'll preface it by saying things have been going good for me. This is what I do now. I don't have a day job, but I work like crazy. Yeah. But I will say that the tough parts for me are not getting the opportunity to, let's say, audition for said TV show because I just can't get in the room because bigger names can or whatnot. Yeah, that's been
We're looking at you, Damian Lewis of life. Thanks a lot, bro.
But because I'm obviously I'm like I could be on TV. I want to be a series regular on a TV show. That would be wonderful. But those opportunities are, whew, man, you just don't get them a lot. And then when you do get them, you've got like 2-minute scene. You get that. You get the night before. You better be like knocking their socks off on.
Now, does it feel like are you at this point, are you getting the opportunity to take your shot, or is it a little more frustrating where it's like I can't even get in the spot to take my shot at it?
No, I've gotten I've had some auditions for some big things. I would love more of those because that's always frustrating when you're not getting the auditions for the big stuff, but that's like a whole different story because it's Hollywood. The casting process is weird and crazy, but as the years go on and you meet more casting directors and you get more entrenched in things, then they start to know who you are and they'll bring you in for things, and that's happening. What I really wish would happen is that the TV casting directors took notice of what is going on the web because, I obviously have had a lot of success there, and it hasn't really translated fully yet.
So they're still kind of treating it like it's farm leagues or something, that it's not, it's not quite at their level.
Yeah, some. And I mean, I was on a show that won a freaking Emmy. And yet
now mind you, folks, we're not talking like the children's Emmy from the children's menu. Like, they didn't get one cut in half. The actual angel holding up the atom Emmy statue itself for the Lizzie Bennet Diaries.
Right. But yeah, it really isn't fully translated yet. But it is slowly happening. So hopefully it happens a little faster.
Do you think it's going to reach that point? Because one of the things I'm curious about is, do things like Kevin Spacey hitting a home run 75 million miles outside of the park with House of Cards, does that throw off the curve for the people that have been in web TV already, or do you think like it's a rising tide to where people might pay attention to it more? What does it feel like for you personally, from your point of view?
No, that's great. I mean, Netflix and all of that has only helped show that we can make quality TV that is pretty much better than everything on network TV, and put it on streaming, whatever streaming it is, and doesn't have to be on like the normal TV. So it's showing people, it's showing Hollywood, it's showing everyone that yes, streaming, TV, whatever, it's all like the same thing, and the talent level is just going to go where the best stuff is being made. So, yeah.
Yeah, I've actually heard that before. There was an interview with Jeff Daniels just before this year's Emmys with our local news affiliate, and they were asking him because he was the Purple Rose of Cairo and Dumb and Dumber, and he was on the rise in a major film career, and then he sort of disappeared for a while. He actually lives in my backyard in Michigan, but they had asked him, what is it about doing the newsroom? What is it about television that attracted you to go there? Because right now, like Variety and The Hollywood Reporter are still in this sort of silly phase where they're like, they're assuming, this A-list actor is doing television because they must need the money. They must be desperate for some sort of casting attention or something. Because they automatically assume he was a huge movie star. Why does he want to go there? And I remember Jeff Daniels saying on the interview, he's like, we're going to TV because that's where the writing is. Mm-hmm. It's been a huge paradigm shift from, movies were where the best writing is, and now television is where all the good writing's going. And so the actors are following suit. Does it feel like that for you as well? I mean, does it feel like there's just better material being created outside of, not necessarily better, but that there's good material being created in non-traditional areas of entertainment?
Oh, yeah. Definitely. I mean, I don't think there's any question. No question about it. House of Cards, Orange is the New Black. I mean, goodness. These shows are amazing, and these shows wouldn't even have made it if we didn't have something like Netflix. That's crazy.
It blows my mind, like with the success of House of Cards, to know the story that like all these networks said no.
Yeah, I mean,
House of Cards, and it's like, what? Like, really? I call it the Pete Best effect. Mm-hmm. Pete Best, who was almost a Beatle until he decided that this band was not going to go anywhere, and so James Ringo Starkey took his place as the drummer. And for decades, Pete Best was insultingly called the fifth Beatle because he just literally left like the Quarrymen Beatle transition phase.
Yeah.
So it makes me wonder how many networks are Pete Best when it comes to the House of Cards debacle. And like how many people got fired when they're like, yeah, this show sucks, Kevin Spacey, get out of here with this. No one wants to see you look at a camera on the left side of your body and talk in a southern accent. That'll never work. Yeah, that's this thing. Like, oh, no one's gonna want to watch that garbage. Get that out of here. Never, ever. Like Nathan Fillion, like he's ever gonna work on television. Fox tried like 815 times, and yeah, sure they canceled his show 2 minutes after he started it. Yeah, but I mean that's not Fox's fault.
No.
But that castle thing, that's just a blip. That's just yeah. Ugh.
Yeah.
Always sort of blows my mind. So when it comes to Maxwell, when it comes to you and what you have coming up in the pipeline, what kind of stuff can we look forward to? Is there anything coming out in the near future coming up for you? Something coming up, like a theme coming up on mrcheezypop? What do we got coming up for Maxwell?
Well, I guess on my YouTube channel, I just started a show called How to Disney. Basically, I teach you things about Disney and Disneyland, Disney World, the parks that you didn't know about. or I like tell you how to do things, like a normal tourist would be looking for advice on, like how to use FastPass or where restaurants are, or what best this and that. Plan to just release like a series of these things, and it's fun. It gives me an excuse to go to the parks and talk about Disney. It's pretty awesome.
Exactly. Yeah, it's guys. I got to go to work. I'm
Yeah,
sorry,
right?
sweetie. I need to go to work today. These videos are not going to create themselves. It's
Yeah.
actually kind of cool because I've learned from Katie a little bit. There actually is a lot of like nuance and a lot of like little hidden things that people don't take advantage of that are available for Disney.
So much. There's just so much. I can't really go into it here, but there's so much that the normal tourist probably doesn't do, and if you go enough, you just learn all these cool things that you can actually take advantage of. Yeah, it's awesome. So, yeah, Disney stuff. And as far as like a work, I've got a bunch of voiceover stuff that I'm doing. I'm working on an audiobook this week. I voice this blue elephant named Bubbles for children.
Nice.
That's like one of my main gigs. So if you have a 2-year-old, maybe you'll hear my voice. I don't know.
You just be like, if your baby recognizes my voice right now, if they're excited or happy, let us know because we talked with Yuri Lowenthal in a previous episode, who has done a lot of voiceover.
Yeah.
For you, what got you into that? Like, what were you pulled into it? Did someone say, "Hey, you'd have a great voice to do this"? Were you attracted to trying out for voiceover and voice acting stuff? How did you get into that?
I just, as an actor, you gotta be willing to go into all different parts of it, the whole thing. So I just was like, well, let me try. I think I can do this, and I just, made a demo, and then I went to like a meeting once at SAG about audiobooks to figure out how you get into that, and I just started. I did some stuff for no money and sent my demo around, and then people started contacting me for audiobook stuff, and I was auditioning for lots of random voiceover projects and getting stuff, and I was like, huh, I guess I can do this.
Yeah, hey, I just found some more steady work. Yay!
And over the last like 2 years or so, like voiceover work has been my most steady source of work, and that's a blessing because there's no steady work as an actor. So luckily, I've gotten to do some voiceover work, and usually I don't even have to leave my own closet.
Yeah. Speaking of Stolen Thunder, I was just about to ask whether you had like the classic 4-track bathroom studio or where, because like for me, I'm in like a second floor apartment, so I can sort of insulate sound to do this stuff easily. But I'm always curious where people's studios are. So for you, it's in your closet.
Yep, closet. It's like virtually soundproof. It's kind of amazing. There's lots of clothing, and it's.
Are you like pushing like sweater sleeves out of your way constantly, and just like your ostrich feather pimp coat is in the way, and you're like, come on.
That yes, yes. There are like literally to either side of my face. I am. There's clothing, so and I'm like just in this nook.
I'm just picturing you with like the bottom of t-shirts draped over half your face and just like your mouth talking into a microphone smoothly. That's pretty good.
Yeah, that's crazy. I was in there a lot today doing this audiobook, and oh boy.
What's the book? Is it something you're able to talk about yet? What books do you have coming up that feature your voice in their audio recordings?
I don't know if I can talk about the book that I'm currently doing, but I would say like book that my recent one that came out was I think the last one that came out was Joshua Dredd, book 3. This is like a series about a boy with supervillain parents. It's kind of neat. It's really kind of neat. So yeah, it's really cool. So
Oh, hey, we have a bonus guest coming in right now. This is an unintentional cameo.
Yeah. So that's the next book that that book is out now. So I think, yeah.
All right, and we'll put some links and stuff in the description to help for people to sort of go to these different areas, check out the links, and help patronize Maxwell Glick's art. Come on, folks, it's Maxwell Glick. You can do this. Help a brother out. He is not going to get into a Disney musical if you don't make him a star, and I'm doing the best that I can, but we still need you to help us out in doing so. All right, Maxwell, as we wrap this up with our last few minutes here, this is your chance to sort of talk to your fan base and the people that that know you way more than they know me. Right now, I'm just that ugly guy in the way of seeing Maxwell's wonderful face. But go ahead and let your fans and the people that know you more know why they might want to consider supporting Apotheosis, why you think they might want to consider helping it out with a pledge, helping out by letting people know about it. Why should people that like Maxwell Glick support Apotheosis, in your opinion?
Well, I think if you've never gotten the chance to see me as a doctor with power and intelligence and who knows what else? I don't know. This is up to you, really. But I think it's just a really cool. It's a really cool way to see me as a character you've never seen me be before, and I think you might find it rather intriguing. I know I will.
So basically, if you want to see Maxwell be a badass Mac Daddy of science, and I know you do, just the fact that I've said that right now is intriguing you. Look at this face. Look at this face. Now imagine with some ego, with some power, with some clout, and a whole lot of ennui and anger at wanting to destroy one of his creations.
Ennui, yes.
Yeah, I just used ennui. Yup. Yeah. Now, if you don't know what ennui is, kids, check it out. I just hit you up with ennui. Good. He's got his cup out. His cup is out for you to help start this project right there. That's his change. As soon as he's done drinking stuff out of it, his change cup will be ready to go. But seriously, I'm really excited for what Maxwell can bring to this cast. And if you find it in your heart and in your wall to be able to support us, to make a pledge, if this Kickstarter campaign, it's 9 days left, we're at $1,200. The odds are long, and if the Kickstarter campaign doesn't pan out, it doesn't mean that I put a gun to this project's head and pull the trigger. It just means I'm going to have to find another way to do it. But this is a window of opportunity for us to bring really wonderful actors like Maxwell. Guys, I'm really excited to work with. People that I want to write for and sort of bring out of their archetypes for what they're normally cast in. This is a really cool window to bring you something that you're not used to seeing in the space when it comes to whether it's comic books, whether it's spy craft, whether it's web series, whether it's just getting to see a different angle of Maxwell Glick that you haven't seen yet. This is a really cool opportunity to do that, and so I invite you to check it out. Maybe make a pledge, help support the show. And in whatever way it comes out, I am looking forward to bringing Mr. Maxwell Glick into the world of Apotheosis. I certainly hope you're as excited as I am in doing so.
Yeah, man. I hope we get to do this thing.
So do I, my man. So do I. I'm getting more excited by the day. So, Mr. Maxwell Glick, thank you so much for hanging out with me tonight. I really appreciate it, sir.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no, it was great. Really appreciate it. Get to know you a little bit. I am James Fernandez. I am the man to blame here at Tightrope. All the links for the different materials we've spoken about we're going to put down in the descriptor box when the archived version is on YouTube itself. And otherwise, tonight there will be another show at 11 p.m. Pacific, or 11 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Pacific, which is going to feature our 3 spies, which is actually thematic tonight because the actors in the next show are the 3 spies that actually find Dr. Robert Watson here and interrogate him about what he's been doing. So we have Tanya Einen, Rob Paget, and Mr. Stephen Lekowitz with us tonight on the second Talking the Tightrope. For Mr. Maxwell Glick, the king of the Disney Files, Mr. Cheesy Pop, Mr. Ricky Collins, and Rhett from Castle. I am James Fernandez. I'm the man to blame here at Tightrope. Thank you so much for watching tonight, and we'll see you soon.
Thanks.